So no spoiler. Your goat is dead.
Oh, all right. Welcome to episode 218. We're going to talk more totems. We have Umbrella Boy with us to talk about what the community has figured out over the last week. Maybe we'll convince ThankMeLater that totems are a good thing. Tokyo expanded. NFLPA legits. We're finally getting some traction on burnable stuff. A lot of cool stuff going on. So you don't want to miss the excitement. We can't promise that it was as good as last week. And I'm glad ThankMeLater loved the cartoon strip. So stay tuned and watch the show.
The UPX Podcast with the property expert. If it's happening in Upland, it's the place you want to check first. With your host who's stupid to win and thank me later. Bringing the strategy, news, and cool charts with all the data. This is Upland, where the metaverse goes down. Genesis, San Fran, to Rio, and all around. Don't miss a week, you never know what they'll say next. It's the Upland property experts, baby, UPX.
Welcome, Uplanders, to episode 218 of the Upland Property Experts Podcast. I'm your co-host, Too Stupid to Win, and as always, I'm joined by ThankMeLater. How we doing, brother?
What up? Did somebody say totems?
Ah, Jesus. Yeah, you missed last week with doing that, so you just had to get it out of the way.
I had my shoes on I realized because back-to-back weeks, because this week I just got back from Peoria, Illinois. Shout out to Peoria. That place is
in the middle of nowhere.
Horrible. I don't like it. I've never been to a place that I couldn't get an Uber from the airport. It was wild. Like the middle of the day, there's not a single Uber happening in Peoria. But yeah. And then I was like, oh, you know what? I didn't show my toes last week. We had enough? Jimmy, what up?
Yeah. It was rough week here last week. Friday night, lost power. Tree fell in a snowstorm and knocked out power for about 18 hours. So that was fun. And it was at the street. We live in a cul-de-sac, so we couldn't get off the street either because the tree was across the street. So we were trapped in the neighborhood with no power.
No way.
Yeah. So that was fun in itself. Got through that, and then Tuesday night came down with a stomach bug and a fever and body aches and a headache. So that was 2 days of sweating that out. And I woke up this morning finally feeling better. So it's been a hell of a week. Son got the stomach bug. Wife woke up this morning and she got the stomach bug right back. But seems like I got the worst of it. It was a tough week.
It's probably because you didn't feed your totems on time. Then that's the bad juju you get. That's what it is.
Then what happened to you? Because you got one that's dead. You have two that cycles have cut like drastically. Like one only has 14 days left in its cycle, and another one's just fat, dumb, and happy for some reason. And you haven't fed them since the 10th.
No, I'm letting them die. I told you. I was not kidding. They will die. I'm letting them die.
You already killed one.
Good. The other 4 will follow.
So.
You only need to be well one day a week. Thursday at 6:15. That's facts. Facts right there.
I've done the show with COVID, and you've done the show with COVID.
That's true. We have.
Well, we come on sick. The only time is if we're somewhere else.
It's gotta be a pretty bad situation if we're missing the show.
And if you missed last week's episode, this little strip right here kind of covers the sum of it. ThankMeLater says you mean I'm 100.
So was this made with AI or did you make this?
I made that in like 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I just pulled.
You mean I'm 100% effed?
No, it'll be figured out in days.
I paid 60 per, and I have to guess. Nope. Spoiler: your goat is dead.
Okay, Scrooge.
Classic.
Yeah. No, I thought that was a good recap of last week's episode.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
But we will talk more about totems.
And for the record, I thought about this because I know for a fact, and I go, man, I feel kind of bad talking, negatively about it and being harsh. But first of all, it is very expensive. And second of all, I have put in more than 6 figures of actual USD into this game. So I do feel like my point is valid. Like my opinions are valid because it's not like I'm just like a spectator who's watching on the outside. I'm somebody who has literally put in over 6 figures of USD into this game. So, I mean, for what it's worth, like if I'm shit talking it, it's because I'm genuinely unpleased. Cheating about so poor. It, Cheese.
Wait. So when you had the guys that put in thousands upon thousands of dollars just into NFLPA legits and you told them to stop crying, you're important now because you put your money in, but they weren't important when they put their money in.
Did they put in 6 figures?
Some of them did, yes.
Well, wait, and I never said that they weren't important, that their opinions were important. In fact, I actually agreed with most of them. I said that I really didn't like my opinion wasn't so important on it because I didn't invest near. I think I only put in probably a couple thousand into that compared to some of them. So my opinion on it, especially because I'm not a sports ball guy, is less important. But yeah.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
All right. We'll jump into all the fun stuff and dive more into totems here in a bit. Go ahead and talk about the secondary market for January 18th, 2024, halfway through the first month of the new year.
You're right, Cheese. You didn't. Wow. That's funny.
All right. Nice.
Rutherford coming 17. I feel like it's still low for what it has.
It's still low. It used to be around 50,000, right there around the 50,000, but it's making its comeback. It is definitely making its comeback.
Tokyo, a little bit of pump in its USD floor. You missed last week? No, you missed last week because last week was gold.
If that's what you want to call it.
I mean, it was entertaining. I had fun. I was on a tear.
You were.
I also had been traveling all day. Like it was today's a travel day. Today wasn't actually as bad. Like I was pretty tired and delirious from work that week. So I was ready to tear some stuff down.
And you tried your best.
Yeah. Well, and again, I still feel like my points were valid. The audience seemed to agree. There really wasn't a lot of people in the audience going, "You're completely off base," for the record.
That's just the audience.
Yeah, which is
there's more people I love the audience, but there's more people than just
there was steam coming out his ears like a cartoon. Yes. Great description, Lily.
Yeah. Anyway,
right. What else we got? Dallas is on the rise again. Good for Dallas. Get out of that hole.
Yeah. And they're in Tokyo. Yeah, you did mention Tokyo. Sorry. I was trying to find
nothing super interesting else than that.
No. All right. So looking at the biggest difference between the UPX floor and the US dollar floor, Bronx has the biggest differential at almost 63%. 10,500 UPX floor to a $3.89 US dollar floor. These are great spots if you want to buy in for US dollar and sell for UPX. Some of the cities to target, but once again, not financial advice.
Yeah, not financial advice, but I mean, again, this is definitely where you would look. I probably would do, not just because of the percentages, but I think I like Bronx a little bit more in general. Also, Santa Clara, I would do over Bakersfield because Santa Clara has the side benefit of being like, I think, is it still for treasure hunters? Is that why people like it?
Yes.
So there's still that side benefit. Vegas, I like in general. Fresno's a great cost per up square, so you can probably get a lot of up square there. So if you're not as worried about the conversion and looking for good up square for USD, I'd probably look at Fresno.
And the Bronx is not anything around the 5 boroughs of New York City proper, I think is always a great place to get into.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
And then looking at the opposite end of that, the lowest areas, this is I wouldn't say the best place to buy for UPX and sell for US dollar, because the $3 hollers we've talked about a lot of times, that there's so many there, it's not moving that quickly. So you want to look for places like Buenos Aires, Porto, Arlington, and Miami. And I'm more now Arlington, but Arlington, Miami, and Porto, they're closer to the 50% mark. They're not as marked down as Detroit and Rio de Janeiro, and it's kind of challenging.
My toenail.
Stop, dude! Don't rip that off on the show.
Oh,
No,
it hurts.
Oh,
It got caught.
why?
It got caught. It hurts so bad.
Why'd you do that?
It hurts. Oh,
I need to blame. I need to.
Oh my God, that's
Dude.
half my toenail. For real though.
Why? That's what you get for playing with them.
Oh, it hurts.
That's what you get for playing with them. Like,
There's so much blood.
go get a Band-Aid. I'll talk.
Oh my God.
Why? Dude, just
Ow. Ow. It hurts.
I can't even just like blank your screen out. So,
Oh,
dude, no,
oh God.
no.
Jeez, do you want me to add it to your necklace? Oh, this one's gold at least. It's seriously half of my toe is gone.
Why? What is wrong with you?
I don't know. I have a problem. That's really bad.
Yeah,
That's actually really bad. That's like, oh my God, that's actually really, really bad.
You've lost half our audience. Go 6 month change. As we said, Rutherford's making a climb back. 6 months ago, it was sitting at 22,500 UPX. Today, it's sitting at 39,999, an increase of almost 78%. Berlin's continuing to steadily climb, up about 47% on the UPX floor. And Rutherford is up 70% on the US dollar floor, from $9.99 up to $17. Now, London, we know what happened with London when they nerfed their treasure hunting there, knocking them down from a tier 1 treasure hunting city. So that's expected. They dropped from, along with an expansion. That's here Rolex wanted to ask a question out of topic. Why all Upland accounts are under parental control on the blockchain? Never looked that far into it, so I don't have a good answer for you, but maybe somebody in the audience can answer that question. Yeah, I don't know. Something to look into, and we'll find the answer. Looking at the bottom 10 city floors in Upland, Rio de Janeiro down 18% to 4,500 UPX. Other than that, pretty stable. Fresno did drop 14% and joined the $3 holler club there. Buenos Aires on the US dollar side up 16.33% to $3.49. Going back 6 months, Rio's down 18%. Sao Paulo's up about 12%. Cleveland up 24.81%. So you're back. All better, bandaged up, good to go.
No. It was like I just like rubbed it on the carpet and just went back.
Yeah, okay. Rub some dirt on it. I like it. You know, that's that sports ball type mentality.
Yeah, no, real sports ball mentality / I remembered that I don't own Band-Aids. So like I have like the little Band-Aids for like a bug bite, but I was just like, I don't know what you do when half your toenail is missing.
All right, we get that.
I want to ask something off topic.
Yeah.
What?
Why are all the accounts under parental control on the blockchain for Upland?
I don't know what that means.
Me either. And we said,
I think unless he's talking about, you have to be, well, and it might just be that it's it's a 2-step verification because you have to have the dual signature, like you don't own the account. Upland does, kind of thing. Bandage. Who owns Bandage? What am I, a medic?
oh, all right. So
Antiseptic. What do I work for, the Red Cross? Jeez, old Pete.
all right. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so we'll jump right into getting our guest on and talk about totems
Oh,
and protem and all that.
keep a first aid kit. Why would I keep a first aid kit at my house?
Normal people have first aid kits in their house
Why?
in case you rip a toenail off in the middle of a live stream.
Well, that seems like a weird thing to prepare for.
But you'd be prepared. Anyway,
Umbrella.
we're going to bring on Umbrella Boy. He's been a longtime
He's been-
listener of the podcast. Got to meet him in Vegas. Always enjoyed talking with him. So, and he worked with the community and found out the feeding schedule. So the one and only Umbrella Boy.
Hey guys,
Hey, how we doing?
I'm good. I'm trying to recover from the medical emergency a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry we scarred you.
Hey, at least you didn't put it up on the big screen.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
I'm not going to show it on the big screen. And we were on the tiny side screen. It would be, we'd probably get kicked off of YouTube. I'm pretty sure that would go against some sort of TOS. You can't show that
Oh, no.
blood and gore.
Yeah, they do all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, heck, maybe it'll help our ratings. We can get in the
no.
bloody toe fetish team. Like, that's got to be a thing, right?
Probably is.
Hashtag
Because
bloody toe fetish. Let's go.
there's people making a living from eating. They just eat food because people like the way it sounds to chew food.
Why do
And
you know too much about this already? I don't want to. We're going.
because my sister-in-law's tax person, somebody they do taxes for, gets paid through YouTube that way, and so she shared it, and I was just like, it doesn't surprise me.
It feels like it goes against the confidentiality of some kind.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Sorry, Umbrella Boy. You see how easy we get?
I listened for a long time. I know exactly how it goes.
All right. So totems.
Yes.
Totems.
I love totems.
Toe down.
I know. ThankMeLater is on the other side of the fence, but I think totems are great.
I want to like them. I just felt violated the way that they were released.
Well, I'll push back on it a little bit because I always felt like they were going to be a little bit of a discovery. Like I don't feel like that was really a secret. Did you guys? I don't know how. Do you guys want to ask questions, or do you want me to just like?
Okay, well, it'd be like when they release cars. Imagine if they didn't tell us any of the stats on cars. Like people would be like, "Oh, well, it'll be fun to figure out what your braking and your speed is." No.
Yeah. Well,
It'd
you're
be fun,
the guy that jumped in the car and goes as fast as it can automatically. Like I'm just going to push the gas all the way to the floor and just see how fast I can go.
Absolutely. Or be like, hey, here's an NFLPA legit, but we're not going to tell you how many flames it has. You have to guess, and then hopefully you put it into the collection, and then it may or may not count for the collection. You have to find out at the end if you actually got it completed. Like, what? No, tell me the information so I can play the game.
I started out with 5 totems. I ended up, since the totems launched, I bought 4 additional totems. I have not bought any additional protem. I still have protem available, and I'm being able to feed and maintain all of them right now. And
okay.
you cried about after a day and just gave up and you let them die.
Mm-hmm.
And you have people
how much protem do you have? How much protem do you have right now?
800 and something right now.
Okay, so you have set alarms, jumped through hoops, and done all of this painful thing, and you're at 800. You started at 5,555.
No, I did not start at 5,555.
What did you
I
start?
only have 5 totems. I had 2775.
Or yeah, sorry. Well, whatever. We started the same amount. I have more Protom than you, and have done nothing except for overfeed them the first time.
All right, give it another week.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, cool. So by the time, like, and again, I go, you know what? It sounds like a hassle. Everything you said sounds like a hassle. And so far, it hasn't paid off. Now, maybe it will. And I truly hope it does. But even then, I go, is it worth the squeeze? Is it worth setting an alarm at 4 a.m. to then maybe forget? And then I just go, hey, look, it's the same thing. Treasure hunters making bank. Treasure hunters who are out there. Russell Envy with, I saw his post on Facebook. He had his phone on a fan in the snow. Like, like, love it. Like, cool. For everybody, there's always a thing that gets them going. And if totems is it for you, I'm not here to yuck your yum, as it were. I'm just saying, I don't know that it's worth it for me yet.
So I am positive now. I'm slightly positive, and I did get some of my totems on bad cycles. I've corrected that, and their feed scores are going up. The amount of Protom I'm collecting is going up. I have 3 of them now that are positive. They're bringing in way more than what I'm feeding them. And the only thing I did wish is if the feed times were a little more out there ahead of time, because I would have started. I would have just optimized when I started them.
100%. Totems are not for everyone. You know, like it's like you said, like treasure hunting's not for everyone. Like not everyone wants to. Competitive treasure hunting is like on a timer, and you got to like, be ready to go and be fast. And totems are a different thing. They're for me, I love puzzles, and I always felt like this was going to be a big puzzle to solve. I feel like they gave out that announcement, or they've given announcements along, and I feel like there was enough clues along the way that that kind of gave you an idea of how this was going to work, kind of gave you an idea of some general parameters, and certainly gave enough for the community to figure it out within a week. And now that part's solved, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff. The curves are not quite clear yet. How much you can earn at the end of a cycle is not clear yet. I have some guesses. Then there's the capacity aspect that's like going to come into can play into the next cycle. I think they're really interesting and really kind of they can be simple. Like now that there's a solid schedule, you can do that schedule, and you can do your every 8 hours if you have an orange one, or if you want to go buy a gold one, and then it's every 2 days, and that's all you have to worry about. But there's a whole bunch of other things depending on the other attributes of your totem. I think they're kind of interesting and complex, and so I don't know. Do you have any questions, or should I just what?
Okay, so it seems there's the 2 attributes that seem to have like pretty straightforward things. The color, which is interesting. So ideally, you would want all of the same color, so that way you're on all the same feeding schedule.
That was one of the smartest things that I'm not going to clap myself on the back. I certainly made some mistakes, but like I kind of figured out that like frequency was important, and you wanted to having a lot of the same color was better than having a bunch of different colors, because they were all going to be on the same time schedule. Yeah. So I made a couple guesses on 2 colors, and that turned out to be a pretty helpful decision for me.
Which 2 colors did you chase?
I went brown and red, And brown works really well for me because I can do anything on a consistent time daily. Twice a day is easy for me. Like greens are the big winners to me because they're once a day. You wake up in the morning, you do it. You go to bed at night. Whatever you do, I feel like you do something regularly every time, once a day. The other ones are a lot of people can do once every other day. Like there's just a lot of options here. Once this was all kind of figured out, and it took a few days to figure it out. And then there's already been the scramble to like some people are moving toward green, and people don't like purple so much because it's a weird time because it gets offset during the course of 30 days. But so now there's kind of a scramble because like people have figured out like, oh, this is my schedule, and that's kind of affected prices. Oranges and purples have kind of are easy to find. The other colors are a little harder. So, and then there's the style, which is it's how much protum you can put into the process. So, fluid is 1,600 protum. That's the total cost over the course of 30 days. And an elegant one, number 7, is 1,000 protum over the course of 30 days. And it's not yet known how much you're going to get back if that's the total cost. But I'd be willing to bet it's considerably more.
Yeah. So I mean, that's my frustration is like I fed these orange ones like 200, 300 protum like day one, and I'm like, wow, I should have been feeding them 15. Like, and that just pissed me off. And I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. Like, it kind of soured it for me.
Totally understand.
Because this to me should have come out with it. Like, here it is. Like, this is what I was waiting for. When I was talking about like, yep, I want to wait because that's exactly it. Because now I can go, yep, strategically, like here, to me, you're right. Green is great. Like green and brown. I'd be trying to stack my green and brown because then I can do brown twice a day and the green once a day, and those are on cycle, right? Or brown and blue. Like I would be trying to stack the ones that made sense, and again, okay, the type is whatever, but then so what are the other what does the animal mean?
So hold on before we get to that, umbrella. All you have to do is activate one in the first 24 hours to get your badge. So why'd you activate all of them? Why didn't you just activate one, get pissed off that you fed it like 200 protum, and then wait for a couple of days for everybody else to figure it out? Because you still had 4 additional days to activate it in the cycle once more stuff was crystal clear.
Well, because I didn't think it was going to be that off. Like, I was just like, the other thing is I shouldn't have to do that. That's not a good game. I shouldn't have to. I should be able to play the game by myself. Like I shouldn't need a team of experts who are all also just randomly guessing to be able to play my game. Like I don't like that's stupid to me. I don't like that. Like because the other thing is that eliminates so many casual players. Like yeah, all of us are super hardcore. We're doing a podcast for 4 years relating to this topic. Like, yeah, we're probably a little bit more invested than the average player. A normal person who goes and downloads this game and did that, that's a terrible experience for them. They're going to 100% run out of protum before they ever figure it out. And then they're going to have to buy protum. Like, I don't like that. And so regardless of the fact that I easily could, now that I have the data and now that I literally have had 5 people message me, here's your exact feedings, here's your exact, like hand feeding me the information I need to do the totems. Like the reality is like, I'm upset by the way it was released for the community, like at large, not the experts who are going to data sleuth it and I love that people like Umbrella Boy exist and who like get giddy about it. And that's awesome. And again, here's my biggest gripe. If they had given us a test run, if they said, hey, we're going to give you this as the first test run. And so go experiment and figure it out. and then the real cycle starts next month with your actual protom, like, cool. I would have been right there with you. I would have been like, hey, what do you need me to feed my guys when? Like, I would have been all about it.
But hold on. I think that the first cycle was the test run. Like, if you wanted to be casual about it, it would be you should sit out the first round. And I know a lot of people that did that. Like, if you don't have the information, sit out the first round, wait till the information comes out, and then you still have 4 cycles to max out your protom.
Yeah, and essentially that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, you are, and I think
that's essentially what I'm doing. Is like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm not going to do it. Like, I blew a bunch of protom. I'll wait to see what's worth it. I'll figure out which totems I'm actually going to feed. I'll probably trade and figure it out more towards the end. Like, I'm not saying I'm not going to participate in future cycles, but in a mini protest, like, I don't like the way it was done. I'm not going to support it by buying any protom right now. I'm not going to support it by, I'm going to let my totems die. Like, as kind of I don't like how this was done, and I don't want them to do this again without it being different, because yes, and don't get me wrong, Cheese, I love the community aspect. I love coming together as a community to do things. But keep in mind, if you were a new player and you spent $60 on one totem and you got 555 protom and you didn't know what to do with it day one, and you fed it 300 protom, and then you found out that you were supposed to feed it 12, like, that is a terrible user experience. And so again, we're all here like, oh, well, you should have just waited it out. No, why should I have to wait out? Why should I miss cycles? Like, that's not a good user experience. That isn't at all how it should be. And if you want to be a mass market appeal game, if you want to be the metaverse for all, you need to take that into account. You're still thinking like a niche blockchain crypto bro, like, well, we'll do all the research and we'll come together as a community and we'll hack this thing together. Like, that isn't going to scale to 1 million players. Like, sure, if we want to keep it 5,000 active players forever, cool, then it's fine. Don't worry about it. If you want to scale to 1 million players, you can't do crap like this. You will lose the audience. I am telling you that. Anyway.
So back to the animal question.
I don't know that I completely agree with that, but I totally respect that opinion. Totems are not for everyone. They're not, like, not everyone wants to deal with schedules, or, but I do think
the schedules are fine. Like, this information is fine. If this was embedded on the totem day one, 100% okay with it. This is definitely a standard gaming element. I have plenty of games that I have to set alarms for, that I have to wake up at ridiculous hours to collect the things. So that way I'm playing Genshin Impact and I have to wake up every once in a while to go make a certain thing, or it caps out and I don't optimize for the week. Like, there's plenty of games like that. That isn't my issue.
So your biggest problem is the 1 week delay in getting this information.
No, my biggest problem is that this information is gated by having to have a community figure it out.
Okay, so let's say
it's not like they were like, hey, you can do this a week early, or in 5 days we'll tell you all the information. Imagine the player who isn't on Discord, who just downloaded it, who saw an ad for it, who got it on Twitter, who isn't part of the community, who's trying to play this game. How would they ever play this game? They can't.
You cannot play totems without the community.
Exactly. That's a bad mechanic to me. In my mind, everything that they need to be doing this point forward needs to be mass market appeal. This little, like, insider, like, it's fun for the 200 people that are really involved in the community, doesn't scale. And that's what makes me mad about it. I'm part of the inside community. Again, I can definitely benefit from this. I will almost certainly participate in future cycles. I am actively, like, against this because it's not mass market. Like, I needed this to be more mass market gaming. And
You wanted it spoon fed.
It's not spoon fed. I would sit here, and again, having to wake up every 16 hours and create a schedule. Okay, I got a 16 hour, I got a 30 hour, I got a 36 hour. Let's figure out what the schedules are. Here's my feeding amount. Here's my capacity, because the capacity is going to come into play at the end when your tiny capacity only holds 10 protum or 50 protum, but you're producing 300 protum over the course of 36 hours. So you actually have to come back and collect protum every 12 hours, or you're going to max out. Like, those are things that are going to come into play later in the cycles, 100%. But that information should be known ahead of time.
And that's the interesting thing, Umbrella Boy. We have a lot of people right now. They're feeding. Let's just go with the orange one. They're feeding at the feed time. Then 4 hours later, they come back and collect. Right now, there's no cap on collections. So the people that are that are collecting,
I don't think anyone's hit the cap is the thing.
No,
they haven't implemented it. They said that there's no cap on the first cycle right now.
So size doesn't matter for the first cycle. So everyone can collect the max amount. It's going to be interesting when like if you have a micro totem and you're in the hot part of your cycle, are you going to have to come back every 2 hours to collect? Or are you going to have to come back every 8 hours? Like that's the big next unknown that that we'll need to figure out. But like for an orange one where you're collecting every 8 hours, a mini one might not matter. But for a gold one that you're like only planning to come back every 2 days, maybe having a bigger totem is more important. But that's all part of the speculation,
Yeah.
Because I've had talks with some players. I'm like, stop killing yourself. Every 4 hours sleep, you don't have to collect your protum. You don't have to collect it in the middle. There's no cap right now. And right now, as long as you're trying to what everybody's trying to figure out now is what is their output style? Are they linear? Because I've seen some step, but I don't know if mine's a mid step, a large step.
Does that matter? Like, why does it matter? Like,
it totally matters because, here's the thing. It doesn't matter right now because we're all waiting to see what the curves look like. Like, some are definitely linear. Some are clearly going to be, this hockey sticks where you maybe only collect, you only make your profit on the last week of the month. And once we know that, then next month, it's becoming clear to me, and I there's still some testing going on to see if this is 100% true, but I'm becoming increasingly confident that you can underfeed your totem for much of the cycle. So you could be feeding it 1 for when it's not making you protum, and then switch to the optimal. This chart here is the optimal time and amount for any particular cycle, but it's not the optimal feeding strategy.
Oh, so like if it's linear, then you want to feed it the same amount. But if it's hockey stick, then you starve it. Like a little orphan child, like, here's your 1 bowl of soup, no soup for you. And then at the end, you're like, I'm going to fatten you up, Hansel and Gretel style.
That's my speculation, and I think that's
interesting.
But they all start negative, all of them start negative. And at some point they get positive, and at some point they get profitable. And
that's what y'all are hoping.
Yeah.
Which
it's a terrible game if you can't make it work for you, But like right now, there's
like if you miss a feeding cycle, like that's the thing is like, and that's the other thing is like, how brutal are the penalties?
It just depends on your totem.
Here's another tip, like. So a circular bases, which are the best bases, most rare, those are particularly valuable because there's no penalties. So you could activate your totem with 1 and then not feed it at all until it's profitable. So once you know the curves, you could, activate it 1 and then come back 3 weeks later and just feed it for a week.
Yeah, which again, like this is all to me. And here's the thing is, then maybe the compromise would have been like, give me this. This is the optimal feeding amount and the optimal time, but we're not going to give you like the rest of the stuff that you're talking about is strategy I wouldn't have even thought of. Like if you gave me all of the information and you said, here it is, and then here's your linear thing, I would have been like, cool. And I would have been sitting there feeding it every 8 hours at the optimal thing. And I just would have been doing that. And I would have been very happy. And then a genius like you, who's going to take gamification, like honestly, this is my favorite thing about it is once you get the information, it's the people that then take that information to another level. That's the gamification to me, because I go, I'm just going to take it and I'm going to play it straight. Here it is, A plus B equals C. You're like, well, actually, if you get a circular base, what you do is you just give it one protum, let that poor bastard starve the entire time until you hit your optimal cycle, and then you pump it full of it exactly and profit. And then you go, look, if you feed it this, here's your profit. But if you feed it this, look at how much more you can get by starving at these cycles. Like that, to me, that's the gamification. Like that's the fun stuff. And that is where community comes in and plays a big part, but doesn't penalize people that don't have access to the basic information. That's my biggest gripe. There's a big difference between strategic and basic information. I'm not saying give everyone all that, like that's next level strategy. Again, I could have played this 5 cycles and I would have never thought, oh, well, that's how you could do it. Oh, there's other ways to play it. I just would have fed it on these cycles, these amounts, and I would have been very happy with that. And a gamer who isn't part of any community would have been very happy with that. They would have seen profit, and then they would have joined, because I can tell you, I play 100 different mobile games, and without doubt, I play all of them by myself to start with, and then I get to a point in the game where I'm like, man, I feel like I should be more optimized, or I'm running into a barrier here, and I join, and the strategies and the things that these people think of, I'm like, oh my God, you're using that item like that? I would have never thought of that. And that is a power of the community, but no game bogarts basic information. That's my issue. The basic information that they're bogarting. So again, genius. Like I'm really excited to see the strategies that evolve out of this from people, because that's next level. Like that's genius. I would have never, I don't think I have any circle bases, but like, and then there's probably, again, there's probably ones that have like 2 or 3 like that you can be penalty on. So the optimal thing would be to like scarcely feed them for the first 2 or 3, or like take a penalty and then optimally feed them and stuff like that. Like there's going to be like really, really micro like changes that you can do based on the things. That's great for the community to come and discuss.
Well, don't get that confused with how much you're feeding it versus the penalties. If you just feed it 1, 1, 1, 1, on its regular schedule, and you know how the cycle runs, if this theory works out that Umbrella Boy's looking at, versus missing the interval, the penalties from missing the feed interval. So,
but like, what's the window for missing? So if you have a 24-hour feed window, what's your like buffer there?
It appears to be you have to register some sort of feeding in that 24 hours. That's what it looks like right now.
So 24 hours and 1 minute past the last time you fed it.
Feeding. But you could like, let's say you had a feeding in the middle of the night. Your interval was like from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. You could feed it at 9 p.m. 01, and that would count as a feeding, and then you would have to feed it again until 9 a.m. 01. And if you're in the negative part of the curve, that doesn't really matter. Like.
No, wait. So let's keep it easy. So at midnight.
Yeah.
Or no, let's make it 11 a.m. 11 p.m. I feed it, and then do I feed it at 10:59? Do I want to feed it earlier, or do I want to feed it later than 11?
So optimal feeding is in the middle of the interval. So if your interval is, if you start feeding it at midnight, you have to, and you have a green totem, you have to feed it at midnight you have to feed it at midnight. The optimal time to feed it is at midnight every day.
Oh, wait.
But
So the time you started is
so the first time you start it is then if you feed the moment you feed a green totem, 12 hours later is
exactly, that's the beginning of your,
and then you have to feed it at that time every 24 hours.
right. You want to feed it in the middle of your interval, but you can feed it, half an interval before or half an interval after, and that will count as a feeding. You just have to make sure you have something in every interval.
Gotcha.
So a green totem over 30 days has 30 intervals. So you have 30 feedings you have to do.
Hey, Tainted Life. Yeah, no, the totem, and again, like even that, like that's insanely convoluted, and like I can tell that Too Stupid even is probably like, oh wait, what? I don't know if that made sense. Like if you knew that beforehand, because like
we stumbled. That was something the community stumbled across, and then I had to correct some because I was just going based off of the last feeding, and I'm like, why is my score going down?
I'm start feeding my totems now. I'm legit like I'm telling you, my cycle 1, I'm letting them die.
And you should. There's no problem with that. Like wait for the curve. We don't even know when the prime part of the cycles are. I think it's totally legitimate to wait.
No. Let's be very clear. It's more or less simple now. Like this again. I'm protesting. I'm upset. I don't like the way that they're doing it. I think that in the future cycles, they should have this information on the totems. Like it should not, this part of the game should not have to be figured out. Like what the feeding cycles are, the optimal feed amount, like at least those, and the capacity, like those 3 pieces of information. And honestly, even the penalty and the curve. Like, I mean, maybe the curve is hidden, like, but the basic information to do management, because at that point, if you give me the capacity, the amount that I need to feed it in the interval, I can at least do that consistently. Now, again, in my capacity, if I know my capacity is 20, at least I can monitor that and make sure that I'm collecting that so I'm not losing out, and I can feed it in this optimal manner. And even though it might not be the most optimal, because this is just the standard feeding, at least I've now got a baseline that I feel comfortable with, and that anybody who picks up this game without having to be connected to Discord, without having to have a bunch of smart people behind them, can play it and enjoy it and make some protom. Now, they're not going to make as much as the people who are connected, who are doing the optimization that says, hey, if you got a gold one, no, just give it 1 protom at the beginning and then wait till it spikes and then feed it here, and here and profit. Like,
now, I'm going to come off as a fanboy, but in defense, this is early adopter stuff. So this is like early adopters should get bigger benefits. So,
but are they going to? But here's the thing. They're not going to, because I can tell you right now, as an early adopter, I lost out hundreds of protom. There are other early adopters who lost hundreds of protom because that
protom's going to be insignificant now. I'm telling you. Yeah, I think you're going to make 10x more now.
You think that my totems will produce 5,000 protom per?
Not per cycle necessarily, but per, yes. That's my guess. I don't want to say that definitively, but like I think if you, I have confidence that if you don't have to play the game the whole way, but if you start playing the game, I think it's going to pay off.
Now, I like the Tainted Life. Hold on, can we just appreciate we have a random who joined this channel thinking that it was Upland, California, and has no idea about Web3 or anything. That's insane and super cool. Welcome, Tainted Life. Oh, yeah, technically. Oh, no, Upland, California is not in. San Francisco is.
Yeah, San Francisco and Los Angeles, Fresno, Bakersfield. Yeah, a lot of San Francisco.
I'm up in my recommendation. Wait,
what
else do you watch, Tainted Life? That's amazing. Oh yeah, what's our reference?
Our referral links are in the description of the videos, so you get a 50% bonus on your initial deposit.
Don't leave. Go tell your friends. Anyway, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Join us. We all sound like insane people. Like, join the cult. Don't leave. I mean, your name is Tainted Life. So.
Now, what kind of success have you had so far with your totems in Upland there, Umbrella Boy?
Oh, I'm still negative. Nobody's made anything on totems yet. I guarantee you. Like everyone, we're still in the early part of the first cycle. People are just starting to make some profit on. I mean, I guess just had one pandas and I'm sorry, what's the other one?
She's saying that she's in the positive feedings, but not like you're not
overall.
You're not net profit yet.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's net profit.
You might have individual feedings profit, but
right. But by the end, I think it's gonna look good. Now maybe I have faith, and but like I said, I think totems are great. I think they're fun. I think I do think that there's a lot of strategy that could be implemented, and yeah, I thought they were a fun puzzle, and like other people have pointed out, like the community, and granted on Discord, I'm sure there were other communities, other places that were figuring this out. Maybe they figured it out first, but there was an exciting kind of first few days when there was a bunch of people, a bunch of names I'd never seen before, all of a sudden involved at Discord. All trying to figure this out, all sharing data, all sharing theories. I definitely had theories that turned out to be completely wrong early on. And so I totally hear what you're saying, but I do think for the hardcore community, it was an exciting community building thing. And now we've kind of moved into a different phase where the information starts to get out. And then it simplifies a little bit, but then there's other things still coming along, like the capacity thing is coming up. The curves are still yet to be known when certain life forms are going to become profitable. But it looks to me like it's gonna turn out okay for everyone.
And again, keep in mind, this isn't a freebie. This isn't something that everybody got in the community that was just fun freebie event. This was something you paid admission for. $60 per totem admission for. Like, that's the issue.
This was way more fun though than paying for $60 for a potential collection property that you're like, is it a collection? Is it not a collection? Like it was just more. It gave me more bang for the buck than. Can
you imagine if they had joined when I was ripping off my toenail? Jesus.
Anyway, I totally respect your opinion, and
no, and I appreciate. Hey, trust me, I appreciate the work that the community's done. And again, I love community coming together and solving this stuff. You guys are absolute geniuses. I can't wait. I love to see it. I love being a part of it. That's why that's my favorite part of being on this podcast is having experts and people like you come on and talk about it. It is very interesting. My gripe is very specific for Upland and where it needs to be in its progression as a game designed for a larger market. And again, I go, yep, this wasn't, you go, it's an exclusive event. There's only 5,000. How many of them were there? 5,000?
Yeah, 55.
Which means that there was less than 5,000 people who had them.
Way less.
Chances are most of them are part of the community already. That's all fine and good. I'm looking for more mass market appeal stuff. And these totems were not it. And I get it. The people, and there's going to be a lot of people who make a lot of really good Protom off of it. Also, they immediately started selling Protom because there's just a couple things. And I feel like I've beaten it kind of to a horse, and again, I'll participate in the future ones. I'll probably try and get some green totems because the 24-hour one seems the best as well. Luckily, I think
you have two of them.
I think, yeah, I have a green dragonfly and a green.
And you got a brown. You got 2 browns, 2 greens, and I forget your other color.
Oh, nice.
Brown and green is a great combo.
Yep,
Yeah.
12 and 24.
Nice. So again, wait, which one can I still? I'm not feeding them. I'm not feeding them. They're good.
Your greens are down to a 14 and 21 day cycle. And
I don't know what that means. Oh, that means that like that. Okay, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
No,
And then I forget which other one is.
I'm letting them die. Like that's my, you know what? And again, it's strictly in protest. It's strictly to say, hey, I'm not profiting off of this first round. I'm gonna take the loss of the whatever hundreds of Protom that I dumped into it. And I really want them to do it. I want them to put this basic information. This should have been published immediately. It would have prevented the loss that I had, and it would give a gamer who doesn't have to be connected. And again, this is how gamers work. Gamers don't start connected to a community. When I download an app, I want to be able to play it by myself for a while. Like, I don't want all the secrets revealed. I want a chance to figure out my own strategy, to play my own game a little bit. But if I don't have the information to this degree, I can't even do that. Like, it was so wildly off that, again, I would have quit. Like, if I didn't have
some people could call this the secrets.
This isn't a secret. This is basic information. There's a big difference. It's, again, imagine you didn't have any of the stats on the cars. That wouldn't be fun. That's not the strategy. The strategy is figuring out all the little gaming mechanics on, what car works better on this track and how do you optimize your braking and all of that stuff. But I shouldn't have to guess, is this car faster than this car? And what are the different numbers? Like, they give you all of the numbers. That is the expectation. These numbers should have been given day one. Would it have been better to advanced play? I mean, again, it's still advanced play. Even if you gave me all of this information, think about how advanced this is. Even having all of this information, y'all, like, you still have to figure out your curve. And even if you have the curve and you have the feeding cycles and you have this, you still have to go, okay, now I have to do 12 hours, but then it's going to be 6 hours after the first one, and then 12 hours from each of those. And then how do I pair that up with my 16-hour one? And then how do I do this and this and this? Like, that's still advanced. And then I have to figure out my curve. And then guess what? There's still optimal where I would feed it 1 in certain cycles where I don't need to be feeding it 80. Like, there's a ton of advanced stuff to this. Even having all of the information, all of the base information, there's still secondary level strategy.
I think I would agree with you more if there wasn't 5 cycles. Like, I think the 5 cycles was, to me, the key. Like, the first cycle was always going to be the advanced, like, players that are going to have to figure this out. The second cycle, there's still some more stuff to figure out. 3, 4, and 5.
Then you know what? They should have said that then. Like, maybe they should have said, like, hey, the first cycle, or like given, like, the other thing is, if I knew that I was going to get more, like, I actually thought about this. The way that it would have been solved that I would have been happy with is that at the end of cycle 1, so we get 555 per totem, right?
Right.
If what they said was, at the end of cycle 1, we are going to reset everyone's Protom to either A, the 555 per, or whatever you have, whichever is greater. So if you mess up cycle 1 and you blow through all your Protom and you don't make any profit because you didn't understand it, we're going to reset you back to whole. If you figured it out and you got a bunch of profit, you get to keep all your profit. So it's a no-lose situation. So you can experiment and there's no risk of you losing any Protom. Go have some fun. Cool. And then the people who are smart and optimized quickly and did all their things, they could benefit and profit off of one. And players who were just shooting in the dark and didn't have perfect information and put 500 Protom in the first feeding and didn't understand what was going on, they didn't lose out. Like, that would have been great. And
but that choice was available. Like that, like, you could.
No, you could do nothing, but then you couldn't experiment.
Right. And the experimenting is the risk taking.
No, hey, I happily paid. If they would have been like, you have to pay 500 protum for your badge, I've been like, take my 500 protum. Like, I'm fine with that. Like, that's how I look at it.
Then you made out.
No, I'm upset because this is.
No, I hear you. I'm not trying to get you going again.
Why are you trying to spin me up?
Yeah.
So
I think the animals are different curves.
Animals are different curves, and
You're saying you just want to pay to win. I don't want to pay to win. I still have to feed all these stupid things at these stupid intervals. Like, this isn't pay to win. I still have to figure out my 12-hour cycle. I still have to play this like multiple times. I'd already committed to like, okay, I'll do this, but they didn't give me the information. That's what I'm mad about. Basic information should not be hidden. Anyway, go ahead. I'm going to check out what colors I have.
Okay. Now, do you think a lot? Well, it's kind of interesting. When do you think
orange? Boo.
When do you think, Umbrella Boy, that people are going to see the mild step and the sharp step versus the hockey stick? Are you think the steps are going to come in sooner than the hockey stick? And what are your thoughts on the curve so far? Or what have you been seeing?
I mean, I have speculation that like a wolf, for example, is just starting to tick up very slightly. So that's probably the hockey stick, because it's going to slightly tick up and then accelerate at the end. The cheetah and let's see, the cheetah is very steady. It's very flat. It earns like 40% or like loses 60% every day. So that's going to step up at some point. Where? I don't, halfway. I don't know. But like toucan, we know toucan is a very linear curve. It goes up 10% every 24 hours. And so you can kind of map that out, assuming that it continues linearly. That's going to be
plateau at some point, right?
What's that? It may. I mean, there's definitely surprise. There could be surprises, and that's why this first round is a big kind of test to see. Like panda and dragonfly are likely the waves, so there's going to be ups and downs, and that's where like knowing the curve and timing the waves are going to be advantageous in the later rounds.
What other big surprises do you think's in store?
I'm definitely excited for capacity and to see how that shapes out, because I do think that's going to add another level of strategy. For example, if maybe there's cases where you want to hey, I want a good night's sleep tonight. Maybe you want to underfeed your totem. This is speculation, but maybe you want to underfeed your totem so it's not making so much. You haven't spent more protum to make protum you can't collect because your capacity is not big enough. So maybe you have to adjust your spending to try to maximize it that way. So I'm excited to see capacity and see how that shapes up in how strategy goes. But I do think there's going to be a lot of strategizing in the later rounds. At least that's the way it's looking right now.
And that's with having all of the information, like all the base information, right? There's 2 layers of gamification. There's basic information, and then there's a strategy on how you optimize knowing that information. Now, so I think if you're paying as much as we paid for it, you should have basic information.
Fair. Now, with there being 5 cycles, and Upland says they might make adjustments. We know that cycle 2, the potential, they'll put a cap in there.
That's where I would get upset if they start messing with the curves later and start changing. Like, to me, this is these first couple rounds are where they, let's try to figure out the information and then using the consistency of that information. So I would be 100% on ThankMeLater's team if they start changing the curves or start flipping things around or start, all of a sudden, gold is 12 hours now. Like that would be terrible. I don't
think that they'll change the cycles. That would be insane. I can see them changing the output amounts.
If we're too good at it, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I can see them changing the output amounts or the feed amounts. For sure. I can't imagine them. I don't see why they would change the curve. The only thing that they would change to me would either be the input amounts or the output amounts, for both the same purpose, right? If we're earning too much, or
oh wait, how is that different than not knowing the information though? Like if you're gonna change it.
Well, no, but again, in my world, they would
tell you.
They would tell you if you're gonna nerf a card, you go, hey, we're nerfing it, and it would be across the board. It wouldn't be. I mean, I guess there could be a situation where they're like, yeah, no, we did not. We didn't curve blue right at all. It's way too aggressive, and or gorillas earn way too much, so we need to curve that. Something like that. I don't know.
I mean, I think the information is constant, so I think they know exactly how much you can potentially earn in any given curve. So
I would think so.
Like it's not like you can like unless somebody has some strategy like, oh, I figured out how to 5x this. I don't think it works that way in the same way that like.
Well, but here's the thing. So they kind of padded themselves in a way by not giving us any of the information. They have essentially made it so if there was a glitch in the information, we wouldn't know.
Yeah, and so that's a good point, because there was a glitch early on that like the one of the information you got back, but it was the wrong information, where it said if you come back and collect more often, and that actually meant you missed a feeding. You needed to come back and feed more often. So there was a glitch in the first couple of days that kind of messed some players up.
Well, see, there you go. So like that, I could see that happening, where all of a sudden, like the end of blue, like, or like, somebody thinks it's a step, and then all of a sudden it starts like way outputting. And so then everyone goes, oh my gosh, this one's amazing, which again is another reason that having the basic data is important to me, because we should know, hey, this isn't acting like it's supposed to, because at this point, we actually don't know if any of them are misbehaving, or if any of them, like, we assume that these are correct. What happens when they look at this and go, oh my God, the green painted ones were supposed to have a capacity of 60. Like, what the hell? Or like, whatever it is. Like, we have no way to verify if what they coded is correct or giving us correct. We're now giving them back, hey, this is what your output is. And then hopefully it matches what they coded it to be. Like, it's a very weird system. I don't know.
No.
Also, I'm pretty sure my roommate's dog just crapped all over because it smells really bad. She just like took it out, which does not usually take it out at this time. I was like, what is going on? And she's just like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, that dog just shit everywhere in this house, I'm sure.
All right. So, Brother Boy, what else do you have for us? We do appreciate your time.
I mean, I feel like I gave a few of my secrets away, or my potential.
Yeah, no, we're definitely gonna have to have you on more. I mean, your strategies are insane. Like, that's so creative.
But no, I mean, I think totems are great. They get me excited, and I have to give a lot of credit to like there's a lot of people in the wider community, but there's a bunch of us in the Creedmoor totem channel that were figuring this out.
Creedmoor.
Shaq and Mass Chef and RDP and a bunch of others.
Wait, is that? Oh, let me see who. Because is it Goldie part of that? My Upland info.
Oh well, that's a great website. That's a great resource.
Yep.
So I recommend that to everyone, because
the Goldsmith sent that to me.
That will definitely help you figure it out. And give you all the good information. Yep, Buellman made that, so props to him. And I guarantee, like, I know people are already working on Discord reminders and other things that'll help things along. So yeah, I think totems are excited. They've definitely activated a portion of the community that was not quite as active, and I think there's definitely, I sense a little bit of frustration that people haven't started like making a bunch yet, but I really think people are going to be surprised at the end of the month when these things start to pop off.
I hope so.
Absolutely.
I mean, again, I want to like these, and I'm really happy to hear the activation in the community. That is a great thing to me. Community activation is always big. I know, Spud Wars was a massive activation of the community. And so I see this being very similar. Also, if anybody wants to feed my totems,
By the way, you can totally do that. They definitely left that. They added that mechanic where you can feed other people's totems.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to feed my totems, feel free to feed my totems.
There's another whole round of strategy there where you can, like, hey, you feed mine at night and I feed yours at night, where you meet up with someone like in Australia and you guys have different schedules. Like there's a whole other thing you can do there.
Which that's super cool. I mean, you would make me fail my goal of killing all 5 of my totems by the end of the first feeding. So
I feel like there's people already plotting to feed your totem for you now.
Yeah, don't feed my totem. I would hate for it to live.
Yeah.
No, let him die, Joseph. Let him die. Kill the totems. Hashtag send him to the morgue.
But yeah, thank you so much for your time, Umbrella Boy.
Thank you for having me. I like going head to head with TML here. We'll see how he feels in a couple weeks, and and if anyone, feel free to DM me if anyone has any questions. I'm happy to help out. I love the community, and I want to make sure everyone is having a good experience if they're frustrated at all. So thanks again.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk soon, and always happy to chat with you and glad to have you on, sir.
See you Genesis week.
Absolutely. We'll be there.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, I would think Creedmoor would be behind that.
Yeah.
Send him to the morgue.
All righty. So
we got some. We should have him on more.
Yeah, definitely. We can bring him on more. All right. Spooky Dookie's opened up 2 new locations.
Spooky Dookie's got dropping 2 new locations.
Dropping 2 new locations in London and Los Angeles. I have not stocked the stores yet.
Going international with the Dookie.
Yeah. So now we are in San Francisco, LA, Chicago, Queens, and London. So slowly expanding.
Got some fancy Dookies.
Absolutely.
Out in posh old London. Wait, what neighborhood are you in London? Are you in Castle Brecon?
Abbey Road.
Abbey Road. Why aren't you in Castle Brickenrock?
It's expensive. I wanted a big plot of land so I can store inventory.
It's Dookie time.
So definitely go check those out. The replica challenge. Now we finally got into the NFLPA legits and being able to burn them. They're doing a trial run right now for the playoffs. You can go ahead and burn replica or burn essentials for the 8 teams that are in the playoffs right now. And they'll have a leaderboard going on, and you'll end up getting a memento replica.
Cool. I think.
Yeah. Well, you'll earn a chance to get a memento replica if you go high enough on the leaderboard. There will be 10 replicas issued. So.
Wait. What?
All right. So the jersey memento of the top player from each team will be issued 10 replicas. So, and that will be based on the number of fire stats they receive. And if there's multiple players qualify as a top performer, Upland will flip a coin or figure it out their own way and designate that as the top performer.
I'm a bit confused. So, because I thought the replica process was like you burn and you got a replica.
So this,
you have to burn and then you might get a replica. You have to like just set your collection on fire and then hope you get a replica.
Yes, this is a trial.
Trial by fire, literally.
Absolutely.
So if you could burn 100 replicas and get nothing.
Just depends on what everybody's doing.
But like, there's 10 replicas. Is that the number? How many replicas?
So each team has a top player, and there's going to be 10 jersey mementos from each team's top player. So there'll be 80 replicas.
80 replicas.
Yeah.
And so can you only win one replica?
It does not say.
Oh, wait, you're burning essentials from the team, from
Correct.
one of the teams. So
Correct.
you can, okay. So each team will have 10 winners. This seems terrible. What the hell? I don't want to burn. So I could burn a bunch of.
You're burning essentials. They're essentials. You get 5 for 5,000 UPX.
Uh-huh.
And there's a leaderboard. So you'll go ahead and just look at the leaderboard.
So I burn 1,000 of these, but 10 other people burn 1,001 and I get nothing.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Now,
no reason to do this.
You gain 1 point for every essential you burn from the teams involved in that game.
Uh-huh. I mean, this seems ridiculous. Like, again, this is literally just burning things for no reason. Like, there's no guarantee. At least give me them back. Like, here's the thing. I'm happy to burn as many, but like, if I burn a bunch of them and then the last minute, like, somebody burns and I get knocked out, and so you're number 11, and there's just going to be tons of people who burned a bunch of replicas for nothing?
Maybe.
Not maybe, definitely. That's how it works. Unless 10 people of each go like, okay, we're the 10 people, we're going to get them. Nobody else burn your replica. Don't burn your essentials because we're going to win them. Like, this seems like there's just going to be a lot of people who burn a bunch of essentials and get nothing. You get a burner badge? All right, I'm going to burn some essentials just in the off chance that they give
you don't get a burner badge.
I'm going to go burn one essential from every team to the burner badge. Can we send them to Loyal? Jeez, you dirty for that one. But you're also not wrong. Like, that would be the way to do it. Just, I'll send you my one essential. I want a 1% stake in it. Like, what? This seems unfun. Burn with a chance. That's an older, yeah, that's a throwback. I love it. I don't think Top Shots started this way.
They do burn stuff now. You can burn stuff in Top Shot.
But for a chance, like, you have to, and again, there's a big difference.
So they did the trade tickets, and you know what? With Top Shot, those weren't cheap things that people were burning. They were burning $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 moments to get trade tickets at a chance to be able to buy packs with the trade tickets. And some people have trade tickets that they didn't want to use because they weren't getting the premium packs that they wanted. So, yeah, I mean,
sure. That was a whole bunch.
So this is a test. They're testing the whole replica, which they'll
if it was like a
later.
Raffle, like burn every essential you burn, you get a raffle. So even if you only burn one, you still have a small chance of getting it. Then that seems more balanced than just the top 10, just straight out top 10 burners get a replica. Like, that doesn't seem like, if you're number 11, 12, 13, like, you're pissed because you've been sitting there hitting burn all day, but somebody beats you out. Like, that sucks. And historically, their leaderboards have been terrible about updating. Like, they're delayed. They're not always accurate. Like, so it's not like you have a real-time estimate. So you're going to be guessing at how many you have to burn. Like, this seems not good to me. I don't feel good about it.
Now, there's also, on top of the essential that you burned, if the player if the top performer, you burn their essentials, you get an additional 5 points for the essentials of that player you burned on the leaderboard score.
Cheese agrees with me. You know it's bad then. That's kind of an interesting mechanic. But again, if it was like raffle tickets, and again, like that's a good way because like no one wants to burn. I don't know who any of the players in the sports ball are. No one wants to burn a Dan Marino card.
It's an essential though. It's common. It's the common of the common, the cheapest of the cheap. These aren't mementos. They're not
cheapest of the cheap is still not cheap. So how much?
You can buy them on the secondary market for 100 or 200 UPX.
Not for long.
Well, depends.
I mean, it depends who it is and depends what team.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one knows how many to burn. Yeah, like and then all of a sudden you happen to burn the all-star person, you get the bonus 5, which is cool in a raffle situation. I don't know. I'm glad I'm not.
But it's essential. You could have 10 of the top performer because it's an essential. You can get multiples of the same cap, same jersey. You know,
but you can't.
It's an essential.
That's not how because the essential packs now. You're not buying it like it was in the old day because you're not going to the stadium and just like, hey, I want 100.
Well,
Burrows.
Right. You got to buy the essential package and then it's just randomized now of what you're getting, but it's still from that team. If you're going to the stadium and buying it that way, or you get your
you can go to the stadium and buy team packs.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That helps a lot. But again, like, I don't know. Because then that's not, those aren't, how much is if I wanted to buy it off the shelf, what does it cost?
5,000 UPX.
For how many? 5?
Yeah.
So it's $1 per.
Right.
So I burn 100 of these, which I can imagine that would be minimum. I have to imagine that people are going to be burning way more than 100 of these. That's $100 for nothing if you come in 11th place.
And you can burn old essentials as long as that player's still on the team. So, you know, Christian McCaffrey played for the Carolina Panthers. He got traded to the 49ers. So there's Christian McCaffrey essentials out there from the Carolina Panthers. You can burn that.
For the 49ers?
But yeah, you're not getting the Christian McCaffrey credit bonus there.
What?
So, because he's not playing for the 49ers. It's the Carolina Panthers one.
So why would I burn it if I don't get the...
Just pay attention sometimes. Jesus.
No, it doesn't make any sense. He plays for the 49ers.
Yes.
49ers are who am I burning it for? Am I burning it for the Panthers?
49ers. The Panthers suck this year.
Okay. So I have this guy who played for the Panthers card who now plays for the 49ers.
Right. You don't get any San Francisco points, but if he's the top performer, you get the 5 points for McCaffrey being the top performer.
To burn his card, a legacy card, and then hope he gets top performer, or I get nothing.
Right. It's an essential.
Why are you getting us?
Because you're making it sound like it's a memento. You're making it sound like it's an essential. You use these as burners. You use these as burners all the time, and now you're making a big deal that you got to burn it.
Burners are different because I'm trading them one. First of all, it's one. Like, I'm going to go burn one of each of these. I'm going to go burn one for each team just in the case that I get a badge for burning these. That's really different. So again, I'm talking about the people that are going to go burn hundreds of these to compete. That's hundreds of dollars that you will then get nothing for. Like, and you're competing for a replica. You're not even competing for a memento.
They're testing things out. So they're going to make it a challenge. They want people to participate.
Cool.
This is not going to be the final product.
Then it should be burn 100 and get a replica. That's how you test it. Not burn question, and then maybe you get one. That doesn't seem fun at all to me. Like, that seems like when TM comes in 11th place, he's going to take a crap and then rub it all over his computer. Like, he's going to be so mad. Like,
that's why there's a leaderboard. You check it,
you
you
don't
make
think
your
anyone's burning
determinations.
100 legits for any one team? Okay, like, I don't know. Like,
I don't know. I mean,
Dookie time, right?
you could see a spike in the old essentials because they're cheap, 100, 200, and you can pick up and burn them. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch. The first burn cycle is going on right now, and that goes on
Is the leaderboards up yet?
Yes, the leaderboards are up.
What are they at now?
The highest score, Kansas City has the highest at 30 burns.
Can you not to put you on the spot, can you share it real quick?
Yeah.
I mean, so it's less than 12 hours, and Kansas City already has 30 burned from somebody that I never even heard of. Like, and I shouldn't say that because I haven't heard of a lot of people. So
San Francisco's popular, so we'll see. San Francisco has 17 burns already. Baltimore's pretty popular. They have 10. I'm surprised they only have 10. Buffalo. Where's Buffalo? Buffalo's got 14.
Who's slated to win this whole thing? Who do you think?
San Francisco and Baltimore are favored to meet in the Super
Bowl.
Really?
Baltimore?
Yeah.
What's Green? I feel like Green Bay.
Green?
No. But like, okay, so it's not even halfway through the first day. How long does the cycle last?
Okay, so
it finishes up. Wolf Warner's up there. What a boy!
It finishes up January 20th. This first burn.
First burn cycle. Oh, and I guess it's each week.
Right. Yeah. So January 20th, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern. So. And then the conference round burn window opens up on January 25th, ends on the 27th, and then the big game.
Super Bowl is going to be nuts.
No, it's the big game. We can't call it the Super Bowl. It's the big game. Starts February 7th, ends February 9th.
Gotcha. The big game is going to be nuts.
Right.
Like that we'll see. So this is just the first round. But I mean, again, we're already seeing double digits for all of them. I would imagine that, say, 50. Okay. I want to know what sick and twist on the orange totem. The orange totem is 8 hours. That's not too bad.
Yeah. But right now, people are collecting. That's what I'm trying to say. Right now, until you know what the cap is, and it depends on what the capacity of your totem is, you don't have to collect in that 4th hour. You don't have to feed them 4 hours later. Collect. Right now, you don't have to do that, but that's what a lot of people are doing, and they're waking up every 4 hours. They feed, and then 4 hours later, collect, feed, collect, and you don't have to. Right, but that's what people think they have to do. You don't have to do that right now because there's no cap.
And even when there's a cap, it's not necessarily going to be every 4 hours. It could be every hour. Like if you have a tiny one, it could be every hour.
It depends on how often it generates the protum. So it couldn't be every hour because if nothing's there, there's nothing to collect. Usually right around the middle of the feed cycle, the protum is generated.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
We're over totems for now.
Totem.
Upland Playground.
Oh, you're going to miss your feeding. You missed.
No, I already fed it. No, I fed it.
Oh, you fed it?
Now that's the interesting thing though. I fed it it started at 10:31 and I've been feeding it at 10:31 and every day has been a success. And today at 10:31, I fed it and it told me to come back earlier. So it's like I missed a cycle. I'm very confused on it because this is the first day since it started that I missed. I've been
only collect once per feeding. I hate all of this. This is nonsense. You guys, Umbrella Boy had me. I was feeling a little bit better. I got the positive tingles in the positive places. It was starting to feel good. And now I'm listening to chat. I'm more confused and frustrated about now this collection nonsense. You set your timer and it didn't even work. I hate it all. Now I'm back to being mad.
Stop. We're off at you're gonna enjoy it, and we'll have it all figured out, and we'll spoon feed it, give you a nice little bib, and make sure you don't dribble on the chin, and we'll be good.
I need
the Upland-
gloves so I don't pick my toenails off. Is what I need.
Dude, just
It's like a dog,
why you're just like
one of those dog cones.
you just go back. All right, the Upland Playground was released. This is for user generated content. This is to see how your map assets look. And you can go ahead and look at your structures, map assets, and more, and shows your size and their ability to fit a variety of different structures. And you'll be able to try it before you buy and submit the stuff. So that is out there, and it will work with the model. They will maintain the model validator while this is in beta testing. So good for content creators.
Cool. Excited for it.
Tokyo. We expanded Tokyo.
Oh.
Now, since I was sick and down and out, I missed a lot of the Tokyo stuff. Very sad about it. I missed the city passes. Snapshot goes on Friday, tomorrow morning. If you're watching it after Friday the 19th, hopefully you got your passes. They're expanding about 16,000 properties to 30 new neighborhoods. And only a very limited quantity was going to be FSA. And it will still be a treasure hunting tier 3 after the release. 4 new collections will come out of these 30 neighborhoods. That's kind of like long shot. We know there's not streets because of the way that they have their addresses, but man, that's a pretty, got to be good. Not a lot of notice either to do a lot of research to pinpoint where those 40 collections are coming from.
It's gonna be fun.
They did have 3 launch pad properties, so people could launch through. Collection reveals on the 25th. Once again, vanilla mode. But what I did like was they had a special Tokyo Block Explorer sale, and that was going on for it was $30 for 30,000 UPX and a Block Explorer. Had some pretty cool masks as the Block Explorers. And then something that we've been a fan of is they have the Block Explorer shop owner sale. And they had 200 bundles of 3 Block Explorers each for $9 to the shop owners.
Love that. I really like the wholesale concept. They've done this with cars and Block Explorers. Would love to see them do it with map assets.
Yeah.
At some point as well. Yeah. And did they do it with ornaments yet?
Not yet. Or yes, they did the map asset burn. Remember was it Miami that they just did that? They just did one with, they had the Block Explorer, the map assets.
No, but no, the wholesale map assets.
They have not done wholesale map assets yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They have not.
To the asset owners, the shop owners.
And they are also doing the Block Explorer burn event. Also, you can get a Tokyo Samurai Block Explorer if you combined one of the Block Explorers that you could buy plus one of the Block Explorers from the shop owners, and you can get a Samurai. They have 5 different colors: black, blue, red, green, and purple.
Wisdom got his top Minter ×2 badge today.
Ooh,
that's super dope. As a badge collector, I'm a little jealous. I need to get on that. I'm gonna wait for a tier 3, so I'm not gonna lie.
Nice. And the top minters, top 3 most properties minted in the first 3 hours of a new city launch.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Love that.
And then on top of that, like if that wasn't enough, they did have the Tokyo passes. And for the people that can't make the city release or just want more of the Tokyo experience, 15% chance that it will be part of a collection. But a new evolution in the passes, 80% of the properties in the pass will include the option to build a unique structure design specific for Tokyo. As we saw in Miami, they had the unique structure in Miami that people were allowed to just throw onto their property. This time they attached it to the pass.
That's cool. I like that they're experimenting with the past stuff. I think that that's super cool. Yeah.
And just like Miami, you're able to keep your passes as a unique souvenir. So you get your property, and if you get the unique building, hey, that's all good. And you still get to keep your pass.
That's awesome. I think that's fun.
And they had 1,000 passes, $5 a piece, $4.99 a piece. So,
yeah. No, I like what they're doing. They're definitely giving like the city expansion and the city launch experience now is much grander. It feels more exciting, even though it's kind of repetitive. And I know people that have been around for a while are like, yeah, no, we're done with expansions. Like we want functionality, which is absolutely fair. And I'm with you. I do appreciate that now the city launch experiences do seem to be like more like they're more fulfilling, right? There's like the block explorers with the mini burn events and the passes with some unique buildings and the map assets. Like there's a lot of little things that go with it. It feels like a true like launch experience. It's not just like, hey, we're opening a new city, go mint some stuff. It's like, hey, there's a bunch of little fun things to do. They have the badges for the participation and like, so I really like that they are making the launch of new cities and expansions like a little bit grander as that is kind of their core. But yeah.
And they're also giving away Airport Tokyo Terminal. Everybody that minted the property gets an entry into the giveaway, and those who are in the Mint Master badges get an extra 25 entries also. So,
wow, that's cool.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on with the expansion.
Yeah, see all that kind of stuff. That is feeling like a much more like complete, like a more complete part of the game. Like that experience is feeling much more engaging, much more on the level of what I would be expecting to see. And so I really like, we need to bring tours back. Oh yeah, that's true. The tours were actually kind of fun. But yeah, so I like that. I like that they're doing more with that.
Absolutely. And Cheese, I did see your question about the whiskey. Once again, I told you I got to lay off the whiskey. I'm getting into better shape, and I'm going dry for a while to get in shape, eat better, be a good role model for my kids, and just be a better, healthier person. So once I got on the scale and it screamed at me, I had to make some changes, and I'm doing pretty well. So I will have a couple of drinks this weekend, though, to celebrate my upcoming birthday. We're celebrating my birthday and my brother-in-law's birthday this weekend. So we'll have a couple of drinks for that. But then once again, it's turned back off until I get where I want to be.
Good for you. I'll mail you some 0-calorie whiskey. Hey, I hear gummies are pretty low calorie.
I'm good. I get tested for that kind of stuff at work.
Oh, boo.
Yep.
What? No, I'm actually 3 months sandwich. So. Let me see.
All right.
What else you got? Oh, that's man. Oh, hold on. I do have. Oh, I need to plug, and I'm gonna put this up. I need to put it up. Oh my gosh. Wait, where is it? Do I have it on one of these here? One moment, please. Send link shortened copy. All right.
Don't forget to go Spooky Dookies while we wait for ThankMeLater.
No. All right. So I'm going to post it in. So I announced the partnership with UPX World and Always Be Creating by Snail Spacing. We launched the submission form this week. I'm going to put it up. I know I need to make some updates in Discord. Thank you for that reminder, Shaq. But I did want to get it out. So we are collecting art submissions for the first round, which the theme is beginnings. If you want to learn more about it, there was a live stream the past 2 Saturdays on the UPX World channel. We'll be doing another stream this Saturday, kind of talking about it some more. And so please, if you are an artist, we would love for you to participate. Go check it out. Let me know if you have any questions. But new art projects starting, and I got some fun ideas on some things, but I'm gonna work more on it, and then we'll come back and give all the good details.
Nice. Very exciting.
Yep. That's all I got.
Okay. All right. Other than that, everybody have a wonderful week. Be safe, have fun, and we'll see you out there in the metaverse.
The UPX Podcast with the property expert. If it's happening in Upland, it's the place you want to check first. With your host too stupid to win and thank me later. Bringing the strategy, news, and cool charts with all the data. This is Upland, where the metaverse goes down. Genesis, San Fran, to Rio, and all around. Don't miss a week, you never know what they'll say next. It's the Upland property experts, baby.